Hi, welcome to A2ZKnowledge.com. So today we are going to discuss about ETL. So what is ETL? So in data warehouse world, the very familiar concepts, one of the very familiar concept is ETL. So that is what the agenda of the today's session. So let me explain you what is ETL. ETL. Okay. So we have a separate market itself in the IT industry which is performing the ETL. So we have ETL technologies, we have ETL projects, we have ETL jobs, so we have ETL requirements, so many things. So ETL is a very big concept in data warehouse thing. So what exactly the ETL? The understanding of what is ETL is very easy. First we can see what is the full form. So E for extract and T for transform and L for load. So what is extract? Okay, if you take a data, you have a data. So the data will be get stored in a different mode, right? So a data can be stored as a DB, or a data can come directly from a web application, or a data can come directly from a mobile application, or a data can be in the mode of file. A file can be a CSV file, TSV file, or whatever the delimited file it can be, or it can be some web service. The data can come from web service, or it can come from some application service, or it can come from another technology also, right? So it can, so I'm getting a data from a different technology also. So here the extract is all about your source. So you are in a project. So if you work for any data projects, right, so you will be having a source and the destination. That means we call it as upstream and then downstream. So I'm part of some data related projects only. So when someone asks me what is your source, or what is your upstream and what is your downstream, so this is a question they used to ask me. So what is upstream? So upstream means the place from which I'm getting the data, and the downstream means once I've done the processing with the data, to whom I'm sending the data. So it can be another team, it can be another technology. So that is my downstream. So for my downstream, I am the upstream, right? So because I'm giving the data for them. So this is a continuous process. So I will be processing a data and I will be giving that data to them, and they will be processing it, and they will be giving that data to someone else, right? So if you take a product, so the product has a lot of functionalities, right? So the different functionalities will be taken care by a different teams. So here the ETL is all about where do you extract the data, and what kind of a transformation you do on top of the data, and finally where do you load the data. So this is what we call it as an ETL process. So for example, so you have a data and now you have a business logic. So you have to do a transformation for the data. Imagine you work for an e-commerce website where you have purchase information, product information, and then user information. So these three information stored as a three different file in the source, or I can say three different tables in a source DB. Now you have to perform a join on top of these three tables, and you have to give me a report saying that this is a user, and this is his purchase history, and this is his current product what he has purchased, the last product what he purchased. So for this information you have to query the source, you have to fetch the data from the source, and that we call it as an extract, and then you have to perform a transformation. So what are all the plays, or in what technology I have to use to do the transformation? So in market you have so many technologies to do this ETL process, and especially the transformation. So the technologies like you have Informatica. So Informatica is a technology, is a very familiar technology for transforming the data, but it is commercial and it's not free and it's not open source. And you have something called Teradata. So Teradata is also an ETL technology where you can do the transformation for the data. And if you take in open source, we have big data technologies like Hadoop, Spark. So all these technologies can be used for doing the transformation. So if you take, we have some different advantages and pros and cons as like other technologies. So you have to pick one. So for doing the transformation for your data, and that technology need to connect with the source to extract the data and do all the business transformation, and finally you have to load the data somewhere. So when I say somewhere, the load can be back to some database or back to some file, or you hand over it to you some visualization team so that they can do a visualization on top of your data, or you can send it back to a mobile app, or you can back send it to a web app. So it can be anything, or you send it to another technology, as I said, some visualization technology, right? You can send it in that way. So an end-to-end process of data is ETL. So you extract, you transform, and then you load, Right, so this is what we call it as an ETL process. So this ETL process involves a lot of other data warehouse concepts as well. Okay, so if you take Informatica, I'm just giving you some kind of a very basic thing just to have an idea. All these are ETL tools, but if you take Informatica, where you have less coding and SQL works, any ETL technology that you take, you that involves both SQL as well as the coding work. Okay, if you take Informatica, so everything will be like more into some graph kind of representation. So tables, you just need to draw some tables and you have to draw a line to connect each transformation. So it will be kind of more into fun. So if you work in Informatica, and Teradata is all about SQLs, everything you will be doing in SQL, and in big data it's combination of SQL and coding, so you will be doing. So it's all about, you have to pick one technology to do the transformation, and then you have to do. So to give a more example, I can tell you. So your team is always, so if you work for a team, you will be having an upstream and downstream. Make sure what is your source and make sure what is your destination. Okay. So imagine handing over the data to my downstream. Again, my downstream also use some other ETL tool to perform the operation. So I can give you one example. So in my previous project, I was working in big data technology. So where I used to get the data from another ETL tool, which is Informatica. So you can see here. So I'll be getting data from this Informatica. So that means, so ET. So they will extract the data from somewhere, and they will use Informatica to do the transformation, and then the load will be in my technology, that is big data. So in big data, again I will do the transformation. That means extract from here, do the transformation, and load it somewhere. So two ETL process are there. Okay, so one team uses some different transformation, the ETL tools, and another team will be using a different ETL tools. It's all depends. So I just don't want to give you confuse you more by giving all this example. So what I want you to know is what is exactly an ETL. So thanks for watching A to Z knowledge.com. If you really like this video, please subscribe my channel, forward this to your friends and colleagues. So we provide videos in two languages, English and Tamil, and we have so many videos, not only data warehouse concepts. If you go to my channel, you will see a lot of programming videos, cloud computing, mobile computing, web applications, and Linux. So many other stuffs will be there. You can just watch all those videos. And I have mentioned my LinkedIn profile and then my website URL in the description box of this video in YouTube. So if you want to contact me, you can use my LinkedIn profile and you can send a message to me. So thanks for watching A to Z knowledge.com.